There he is. Louis Amistoy is on.
Hey, I'm trying to Instagram something right now. I'm trying to post my Ryan. Finally, I got a Ryan Reed autograph on my car. Finally. Thanks to Casey Hibbard for getting that to me. But I'm posting it on Instagram. We now have an Instagram account. Did you know that, Mike Griffith?
I understand we do, yes.
We have. You can follow. This is the Bako Motorsports Power Hour, brought to you by the Bakersfield, California. We've been covering racing, by the way, since the beginning. Since Ben-Hur. We've been.
You were there.
I was there. You were there for clearly. Show number 7 of this season already. And again, follow us on Facebook, Bako Motorsports Power Hour, for exclusive looks at what we do here at the Bakersfield Californian. And you can now follow us on
Tweety Bird.
Yeah, and I think that's actually spelled wrong. I think it's Bako Motorsports, not Motosports. So I'll have to double check that. So follow us on Twitter and on Facebook or on Instagram. I like Instagram. You like Instagram?
I don't go to Instagram much, no. So, no, I limit my social media pretty much.
You kind of let it.
There's a limit to my social media.
On there. Yeah. You're wearing the team colors today, though.
Wearing the team colors,
TBC Media. Very well done.
Thank you.
It's very nice. That nice teal. I got to get this poster real quick, though. Trying to sign the car. Okay. And right, it is the Bako Motorsports. An R. There's an R missing, not Motosports. Moto is for motorcycles, right?
Yeah, which we will be talking about.
Okay, all right. A lot of stuff going on this weekend. Bakersfield Speedway is running. Kern County Raceway Park is running. Hold that thought for just a second, Chris, before we get to that one. We've got
Formosa's
in action with Summit Series all weekend.
There's always something going on at Buttonwillow Raceway Park.
Buttonwillow Raceway Park. This is actually, and this is Willow Springs coming up this weekend too.
Yeah, there's
actually
usually
next
something
weekend
going on at Willow Springs somewhere out there.
Yeah.
Every weekend as well.
Willow Springs has a quarter-mile oval track. I did not know that.
Yes, and a road course and a. Yeah, they're busy all the time.
April 18th, they have a late model, street stock, bombers. What is a bomber?
Probably like a hobby stock, American stock, some entry-level class.
Hobby stocks, mini stocks, and special events. That's coming up next weekend. That's the calendar events for Willow Springs. Have you gone to Willow? You've been out to Willow Springs, haven't you?
I got my SCCA competition license in a Formula Ford there about 20 years ago.
Nice.
3 days in July in fire suits.
Wow.
It was a lot of fun in the desert.
Wow. All right. Here's some other events that are going on at Willow Springs, too. We don't get a chance to talk to them about it much, but we have that sort of break in the schedule. They have motorcycle races coming up, these classic motorcycle races. I'm sure that Felix Adamo would like to see those, April 24th through the 26th at Willow Springs. And then this is kind of a cool one, too, another historic race. These kind of nostalgia bikes. That's a cool poster right there.
Yeah.
May 30th, Willow Springs to the go-kart track. So that's going to be some interesting racing there.
Yeah, they've got a lot of stuff they do out there.
They're also racing. What are they? Go-peds? Go-quads? They're just very interesting look. Might be kind of a fun photo package to go out there and take some pictures of that out in Rosamond. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll send Felix out there. All right, let's go to our next slide. We got things to talk about. This guy, Kevin Harvick, is running down in Texas this weekend. Clearly in the lead in the Sprint Cup standings with the 2 wins this season already. 8th at Martinsville. Pretty much dominated that race, though, Mike. And he's got to be the favorite to win Texas. He's got to be the favorite every time we go out now, right?
I think so. Texas is a little different track now. They're much like maybe a big track like Fontana, but they're getting out there and it's a night race.
Mm-hmm.
So a night race under the lights in Texas, and I think you're going to have, Harvick's going to be tough as well as a few others. He's not going to get back to that first second. I don't think that's going to happen every weekend, but he's going to be in the hunt.
He's going to definitely be in the hunt, and it seems like he's just right there every single time. And I guess the paperclip at Martinsville is a little bit of a different. How to manage that whole thing is quite challenging, right?
Yeah, that's a different animal in itself. And I don't know what happened late. He was good for 3/4 of the race and not so good toward the end. So that's the way things go. And maybe it was just got shuffled back and couldn't get back up front. So Texas, totally different animal. Big 2-mile track.
All right, Casey Mears. Is this a restrictor plate race or not? This is not.
No.
Okay.
It's only Talladega and Daytona.
Casey Mears was 15th at Martinsville, 13th in the Sprint Cup standings. He's sliding back, but he's He actually had a pretty good run at Martinsville, I thought. Got turned late in the race, but did have he moves back in the pack.
Yeah, well, he's had to start in the back because he broke a transmission after qualifying and had to change the transmission. So you go to the rear of the field to start, and 15th place finish. It's pretty good for. I think that team, if you're finishing 15th, 10th, even 10th to 15th, is going to be really good for that team. So solid run at Martinsville, and now we're going to see what he can do in the big track.
All right, let's move on to our next slide here. Here's the schedule for the next couple of weeks. Also, the Xfinity Series running this weekend with Ryan Reed, who has now signed my car down in Texas. That's a 300-lap race, right, or 300-mile race?
300-mile race, yeah. And that's where the Roush cars have struggled on the big mile-and-a-half and 2-mile tracks. So it's going to be interesting to see Reed and everybody else on the Roush team where they run during this race.
You like the big 2-mile super speedways or not?
2-mile tracks, mile-and-a-half now.
Okay. Why?
I'm a short track guy.
Short track?
I like the big cars, big tracks, but I like Indy cars on the big tracks.
It seemed a little weird to me. I thought the Fontana race was a lot of fun to watch, quite frankly. But I found the paperclip thing to be a little, I don't know. It just seemed a little much.
Yeah, you know? Maybe a little long. I'm not into the any long races. My attention span's about 2 minutes, that of a gnat's life. But I just.
I felt like I was watching the 405 at times. You know, I mean, all the little wrecks, and then it just they're jammed up with each other. You know, I mean, I guess it's compelling, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a fan of short track racing. So for the NASCARs, anything on a mile or less, I like. Plus, I like the. A lot of people don't. I happen to like the road courses because maybe it's so unusual. There's only 2 of them, so I like both road course races.
You won't be around for the one in Sonoma, right? We should go to that.
No, I won't be around. I'll be closer to there than here, but
all right.
I'm not going to be around.
All right. So speaking of short track, next weekend is Bristol. Is that which one do you like better, Bristol or as far as short tracks go?
I used to like Bristol, but since it's a totally different era. I like Bristol back 20 years ago, and I don't know. Now it seems to be one groove. And
how many races did you cover at Bristol?
I've never been to a Bristol race. I've watched plenty, but I've never been to Bristol for a race. But
you've really only been to Daytona, right?
Daytona and Charlotte.
Charlotte, okay.
Does Riverside count?
Riverside counts.
Okay.
Phoenix, you've been to Phoenix? Vegas?
Phoenix.
Yeah, okay.
Phoenix, Vegas.
West Coast.
A few West Coast.
All right. Did you ever cover anything in Ontario?
Yes.
Okay.
A NASCAR race.
A NASCAR race.
So
really?
NASCAR race at Ontario.
Right. Not an IndyCar race.
No.
Okay.
They tore that down slightly.
They did tear that down.
But I'm thinking about what time it was torn down. But never an IndyCar race at Ontario, but a NASCAR race at Ontario, yes.
Hit a huge grandstand there. Right there where the Ontario Mills Mall's at now. Okay, let's go to our next slide. And there's Mike interviewing somebody.
Yeah, that guy needs to go on a diet for sure.
Goes on there. And let's talk about dieting. Look at this next picture. Look at myself. My God. This is terrible. Chris Dalton, though, looking fantastic.
Yeah, he's looking good, isn't he?
Yeah, I like to see him look good in that car, too, because he's going to move up in that late model car. All right, moving on. 4 things Mike has to react to, everybody. Here we go. The daily show, daily part of or the best part of our week here is talking about the things Mike has to react to. And here it is. Ready? Favorite race of the year so far. What was your favorite race of the year so far? I'm going to ask you this question, but I want to reiterate.
I like the K&N race.
That was a pretty good race. That was a pretty good race.
Pretty good race so far. And I really liked the sprint car race at Bakersfield Speedway Saturday night. Ryan Burnell got up there and rode right next to the wall. Pretty exciting. I like that.
You like that better than the Top Fuel final at the March meet?
Top Fuel final's quick, though. I think we're comparing something that lasts minutes or hours to something that lasts 6 seconds. But no, the Top Fuel final was a good race,
That was a great race. The more that I look at those videos of that, it's funny on our Facebook page, we have the one where we showed the explosions at the very end of it, and they just kind of, I've watched it probably now like 35 or 40 times just to see the battle between those two men late in the race.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Both guys were on fire in that race. So,
all right, number 2. Here it is. Number 2. Felix Adamo thinks the MotoGP race in Austin will be as big as NASCAR this weekend. What do you think? Felix is a huge motorcycle wonk.
He's a huge motorcycle fan, so probably so. But Texas Motor Speedway is healthy as far as profit loss.
Right.
Racetrack of the Americas, not so much.
Not so much. All right.
Not so much.
But you thought that the racing from a few weeks ago involving these guys was as good
I
as
thought it was the best race of the weekend 2 weekends ago, the MotoGP race. So you had 4 guys just fighting tooth and nail on the bikes. And the thing is that these MotoGP races are an hour.
Yeah, right.
That's it. So for a shorter attention span, people,
there
works
you
out
go.
pretty well.
There you go. All right, number 3. There it is. Here's the question for you. The ideal car for the 24 hours of Lemons at Buttonwillow, June 20th to 21st. What would be your ideal car? And let's just show some of these
question
pictures.
because I've never been to one. So what do you take, like an 84 Honda or something?
I don't know. Let's show some of these pictures real quick. This is a great event. Here's some of the passengers in these cars. Now,
I could get with these guys.
You can get with these guys.
Got some goats.
So I don't know, like an old. There's a lot of old BMWs. Looks like they're racing these things.
Yeah, it looks like that. I don't know. You got to get something that turns left and right fairly well. I imagine Les out there at Buttonwillow could give us an idea of what type of car you need for this. But these guys definitely have fun in these events.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a great event. That's June 20th and 21st. It sounds like it's a riot. They do these all over the place. The rule is you only spend like $500. I don't know what you could do for
and when they deem that you have more money in your car than the $500 limit, you get dock laps, like you start in arrears. You're minus 20 laps to start the race or something. So they have a way of saying, that car is a little too good, so you're docked 25 laps.
All right. Show some of those pictures real quick, Chris, and we'll take a look at this here. Last picture? All right, we'll go to our next question, our final question of the day. Yesterday, we showed you a video of an all-electric 1969 Mustang Fastback going 174 miles an hour. Is that heresy or is that cool?
I'll say cool. There's a lot of Mustangs around, so there's enough to play with. The Mustangs didn't get chopped up like the Chevys and Camaros because they weren't very good. Their suspension weren't good for oval track racing. So there's a lot of Mustangs left, not too many Camaros and Chevy Novas.
All right. One final note. We didn't do Driver of the Week this week because there was a lot of naughty behavior going on in tracks in certain places. And you know what? I don't understand it. You know, a little editorial comment here. You know, the racing is for fun, guys. You know, when you make $300 a night doing that stuff, it's not real serious. It's not worth punching somebody. It's not worth going to jail for. I don't understand the behavioral issues that we're seeing out there. I understand the passion. Maybe because I'm older now and I don't get all fired up about this kind of stuff anymore. But, you know, if you feel the need to hit somebody in the face, don't do it. Walk away. You're better than that. You win the next week. And that's what we've seen consistently from the racing communities in this town is that you're competitive, you're a family, you work hard together, you play hard together, but you don't hit somebody in the face. So that's just my take on the day, and hopefully we'll get this all righted in some spot here and move forward on it. But not a good weekend for the racing community last weekend, and I feel really bad for all those involved. All right, we'll be right back with Scott Schweitzer of Bakersfield Speedway after this.